In the small forgotten town of Hollow Grove, nestled between ancient woods and a winding river, whispers of the forest beckoned to those who dared to listen. The townsfolk knew the unsettling tales, a murmur of curses, the echo of otherworldly laughter, and the shadowy figure that danced between the trees during twilight. But one curious soul, Sarah, new to the town and seeking adventure, dismissed the warnings as mere folklore. Having inherited her grandmother's old house on the outskirts of Hollow Grove, Sarah found herself drawn to the eerie forest that loomed behind her new home. The trees twisted like gnarled fingers against the dying light, and the air hummed with a strange energy. Despite the locals' fearful glances and hushed conversations about the spirits said to inhabit the grove, her intrigue only deepened. One evening, emboldened by the youthful bravado and flicker of curiosity, Sarah donned her jacket and ventured into the shadows of the forest. As she walked, the sounds of the town faded, replaced by the soft rustling of leaves and the distant call of owls. The path twisted deeper into the trees, and the air thickened with an otherworldly chill. Hours passed. Sarah found herself surrounded by an unnatural stillness. The atmosphere was charged, electric, with something unnameable, and she stopped, feeling an odd sensation creeping along her spine. It was then she heard it, the faintest, hushed voices woven into the wind. They enticed her, their melodic tones promising secrets of the forest, guiding her further into the depths where no living soul had tread for decades. "Come play with us, Sarah," they whispered, playful yet eerie. She hesitated, recalling the tales about the spirits, the lost children of Hollow Grove, who would lead trespassers astray, their giggles echoing in the dark as they sought companionship in their eternal solitude. Shaking off her trepidation, Sarah pressed on, her heart racing with both excitement and dread. The forest opened before her into a clearing, illuminated by an ethereal glow. In its center stood an ancient tree, its bark twisted and ravaged by time, pulsating with a faint light. Before her danced a group of shimmering figures, spirits, she realized, their forms fluid, shifting in colors of azure and silver. They twirled and swayed in an otherworldly rhythm, their laughter echoing like distant chimes. "Join us," they beckoned, their faces shifting and contorting, melting into strange, beautiful forms. Entranced, Sarah approached them, her mind swirling with visions of joy and laughter, tempting her to become part of their spectral revelry. But one of the spirits pulled away from the dance, its face serious and solemn. "Beware, Sarah. Not all who venture here return. They need a friend for their eternal gain," it warned, its voice full of sorrow. "You must leave before it's too late." But the allure was intoxicating, and the other spirits whispered in her ears, promising friendship and freedom from the mundane life she'd always known. "Just one dance," they coaxed, and against her better judgment, Sarah stepped into their circle. The moment she joined their fray, an overwhelming flood of dread washed over her. The laughter twisted into haunting wails, the colors morphed into shadowy shades of despair. She was seized by a terrible realization. This was not a dance of joy, but a sinister game of entrapment. The spirits surrounded her now, their forms morphing into ghastly reflections of despair, each face writhing with sorrow and longing. "Help us," they cried, reaching out with hands that flickered like candle flames. "And you shall never leave." Panic surged within Sarah as she fought against the invisible bonds that now tethered her to the grave. She remembered the stories, the countless souls lost to the depths of Hollow Grove, lured in by the whispers and the chants of companionship. With every ounce of strength, she turned and ran, heedless of the branches that clutched at her clothes. The whispers turned to shrieks, echoing through the forest as she stumbled back towards the entrance. "You cannot escape!" they cried, voices merging into an orchestra of despair. The ground beneath her shook, shadows clawing at her heels, desperate to reclaim their lost playmate. She burst through the tree line, gasping for breath as she reached the safety of her home. Heart pounding, mind racing, she slammed the door behind her, locking out the supernatural horrors. The whispers faded, but the chill still clung to the air, her skin prickling with the knowledge that she had narrowly evaded a fate shared by so many before her. That night, as shadows danced in her window, Sarah lay awake, haunted by the laughter and the voices that lingered at the edge of sleep. She realized that she was not free. Spirits of Hollow Grove kept a part of her, shadow tethered to their world, forever whispering, forever longing, and every so often the moon rose above the treetops. If one listened closely enough, they could hear the faintest echoes of her laughter mingling with the whispers of the spirits that played in the forest.